Thank you for being here today. I'm Luna Celestine, and in this video I want to guide you into a rare astrological moment, a threshold that we are privileged to experience only once in a lifetime. On April 21, 2025, Saturn, the ancient symbol of time, karma, and maturity, will align with the North Node, the compass guiding the soul toward its future, at 26 degrees Pisces. This is not merely an astronomical event. It is a turning point for the inner evolution of each of us. In the next part, I will explain why this meeting has the power to profoundly shift how you see yourself and the world around you, and how you can consciously step through the doorway of destiny that is now opening before you. Saturn stands as the ancient guardian of time, structure, and karmic accountability, the relentless force that watches over the promises we make to ourselves and the silent contracts we inherit through generations. It is not a planet of ease, but of integrity. It demands that we build our lives on something real, something lasting. The North Node, by contrast, is the magnetic pull of destiny, a subtle but undeniable compass that points the soul toward the path it was always meant to walk. It speaks not of comfort, but of purpose, offering glimpses into a future that can only be reached by shedding all that is no longer true. When Saturn and the North Node converge, as they will on April 21, 2025, at 26 degrees Pisces, the meeting does not pass quietly. It opens a portal, a karmic gateway, that shifts the ground beneath us, whether we are ready or not. This alignment does not operate at the surface of life. It works at the roots. It seeks out the invisible threads, the habits, attachments, and fears that have quietly held us in old patterns, and brings them into full view. It closes chapters we thought would continue indefinitely, dissolves roles we have outgrown, and exposes the places where we have clung to illusions out of fear or familiarity. At the same time, it activates dormant soul contracts, sacred agreements made long before this lifetime, calling forth the lessons, relationships, and transformations that must now be completed for the soul's evolution to continue. Under this influence, we are not given the luxury of indecision. We are asked with an almost sacred urgency to face the truth of who we have become and to recognize where we are being asked to become more. This is not merely a shift, it is a reckoning. The convergence of Saturn and the North Node marks a threshold where the past, present, and future collide, creating a singular opportunity for release and rebirth. If we resist, we may experience this time as loss, confusion, or upheaval. But if we are willing to surrender, to allow the old structures to fall away, we can step into a much deeper authenticity, a version of ourselves that is no longer bound by fear, history, or hesitation. In the next part of this journey, we will explore how this rare karmic gateway may unfold in different areas of your life, and why embracing its challenges is essential to stepping fully into the destiny that is now calling your name. As this karmic portal opens, many emotions, long buried, long silenced, will rise to the surface. You may find yourself overcome by sudden waves of sadness that seem to have no clear origin, or by vivid memories from the past, fragments of moments you thought you had long forgotten. Old wounds, some so deeply embedded that you no longer consciously remember their cause, may ache once again. A quiet, pervasive sense of disconnection may shadow your steps, making even familiar places and people feel strangely distant. But this emergence of feeling is not a punishment. It is a necessary purification, a sacred unraveling of the old emotional debris that has clouded your soul's true light. This process is not meant to break you, though at times it may feel as if it is doing just that. It is meant to strip away what no longer serves you, to cleanse the residue of past hurts, outdated attachments, and inherited fears. Yet the natural instinct for many will be to resist, to tighten the grip on what feels safe, to suppress the uncomfortable emotions, to rush toward distraction or denial. Know that resistance will only magnify the pain. Trying to hold on to what is already falling away is like clutching shards of glass. The harder you cling, the deeper the wounds. The invitation here is to let go, to loosen your grip, to stop fighting the tides of transformation and to face yourself with honesty and compassion. True release does not come from forcing yourself to move on, nor from numbing what rises to be felt. It comes from the willingness to sit with the discomfort, to listen to the grief, to allow the tears to fall without judgment. Only by honoring what surfaces can you shed the heavy layers that have weighed you down for far too long. This is not a collapse. It is a sacred metamorphosis. You are not losing yourself. You are losing who you are not. In the next part of this journey, we will explore how to navigate this inner passage with consciousness and why surrendering to the full depth of this emotional cleansing is the key to stepping into the truer, freer life that now awaits you. For those who are willing to be radically honest with themselves during this time, a new kind of guidance will emerge. It may come quietly at first, in dreams that feel more vivid and urgent than usual, in flashes of intuition that pierce through confusion, or in sudden moments of clarity, where the next step becomes unmistakably clear. These inner signals are not random. They are the language of the soul, speaking louder now because the veils between your conscious mind and your deeper knowing are thinning. If you choose to listen, if you choose to trust what arises from within, rather than clinging to the crumbling structures outside, you will find yourself gently but unmistakably led onto the path meant for you. However, for those who resist, who cling to outdated identities, familiar patterns, or comfortable illusions, this portal will feel far less gentle. It may manifest as a heavy darkness, a confusion that clouds every decision, a sense of depression or despair that seems to have no logical source. These feelings are not punishments, but symptoms of dissonance, the widening gap between who you have been pretending to be and who you are now being called to become. Saturn, ever the unflinching teacher, will not allow these contradictions to remain hidden. It will strip away the performances we have long maintained, the personas shaped by external expectation, the roles we adopted for survival or approval but which no longer align with our evolving truth. Under this influence, relationships that have been sustained out of habit rather than genuine connection will begin to unravel. Careers built on compromise rather than calling may start to crumble. Lifestyles that no longer nourish the soul will feel increasingly hollow and unsustainable. This unraveling is not a cruelty. It is a deep kindness, a cosmic intervention designed to lead you back to yourself. It is the collapsing of false structures so that the foundation of your life can be rebuilt with integrity, authenticity, and purpose. In the next part of our exploration, we will look closely at how to recognize these turning points in your own life and why embracing this dismantling is not only necessary, but sacred. The essential first step in crossing the threshold toward a future that is fully, unapologetically yours. The impact of this Saturn North Node conjunction will not be confined to the realm of personal transformation. Its reach extends outward, weaving through the very fabric of our collective structures, political systems, economic frameworks, religious institutions, and social hierarchies. Under Saturn's unwavering gaze, the illusions and imbalances that have long been tolerated will begin to fracture. Truths that have been buried beneath layers of tradition, authority, or manipulation will rise to the surface, no longer able to be suppressed. Institutions that once seemed immovable will show their cracks. Systems built on exploitation or deception will begin to erode. What is real, what serves the collective good, will endure. What is false, what serves only fear, greed, or control, will crumble. This purification is not designed to bring chaos for its own sake, but rather to clear space for new structures, new paradigms, and new ways of being that are more aligned with a higher collective truth. As individuals are being called to shed their false selves, so too is society being asked to release its outdated forms. The transformation unfolding within you is mirrored by the transformation unfolding all around you. We are, each of us, participating in a great unraveling. And equally, in the birthing of a new world, the energy intensifies further just days later, on April 24, when Venus, the planet of love, values, beauty, and financial balance, forms a powerful conjunction with Saturn and the North Node. This alignment adds a more intimate and relational dimension to the karmic tests already underway. Matters of the heart, of trust, of connection, and of self-worth will be brought into sharp focus. Relationships built on codependency, on unresolved wounds, or on illusions of comfort rather than genuine resonance will come under strain. Financial entanglements or energetic exchanges that have quietly undermined your sovereignty will surface for review. This is not a time to cling desperately to what once felt safe. It is a time to ask difficult but necessary questions. Do my relationships truly honor who I am becoming? Do the bonds I maintain reflect mutual growth, respect, and authenticity? Or am I holding on to people, roles, or financial structures that no longer support my evolution? The next phase of this journey will guide you through understanding how Venus's conjunction with Saturn and the North Node will shape not only your personal connections, but also your deeper sense of value and worth, and why clearing these relational and energetic patterns is essential if you are to step fully into the new life path now unfolding before you. In light of everything now unfolding, both within and around you, it becomes clear that preparation is not optional. It is essential. This is a time to turn inward with intention, to prepare your spirit for the magnitude of what is being asked of you. You are standing at the edge of a profound threshold, and what you carry with you across this threshold will shape the life you are about to create. Begin by purifying your inner landscape. Take inventory of the emotional baggage, the outdated beliefs, the old loyalties and attachments that have kept you anchored to versions of yourself that no longer fit. There is no need for judgment in this process, only honesty. Ask yourself with clarity and compassion, what am I holding on to out of fear? What am I maintaining simply because it is familiar? What parts of my life, my identity, my connections have quietly expired, even if I have been reluctant to admit it? Now is the time to loosen your grip, to release what has already served its purpose, to allow the illusions that once brought comfort to fall away, no matter how vulnerable that may leave you. Understand that what you let go of during this period is not a true loss, but a clearing, making sacred space for what is real, enduring, and life-giving to enter. Stepping forward requires not just awareness, but courage. It demands that you move with both humility and boldness, trusting that the very act of surrendering is what will open the way. You are not being asked to have all the answers. You are being asked to trust your deeper knowing, to trust that by releasing the old, you make room for a future more aligned with your soul's highest blueprint. In the final part of our journey, we will walk together through how to embody this passage, not with fear, but with conscious presence, and how this courageous letting go will not only align you with your truer self, but also empower you to build a life of greater authenticity, fulfillment, and meaning in the new chapter now awaiting you. This moment we are stepping into is not simply another phase. It is a sacred and rare spiritual passage, a karmic portal that opens once in centuries. It invites you, and at the same time demands of you, to make a conscious choice, to move forward into growth and awakening, or to remain entangled in the well-worn patterns of old karma. First, recognize that this portal is not passive. It does not wait for convenience, nor does it gently knock. It arrives with a force that is meant to disrupt the cycles of inertia, to shake loose the layers of fear, denial, and comfort that have kept you tethered to outdated versions of yourself. The signs will be unmistakable: relationships unraveling, career paths losing their meaning, inner emotions rising with unexplainable intensity. These are not accidents. They are signals, urgent and sacred, calling you to step into a fuller, more authentic life. Facing this portal requires deep inner work. You must be willing to turn inward and see yourself without the masks, without the roles you have long played to survive or to be accepted. It will ask you to grieve, to mourn the selves you are leaving behind, and to honor the truth that your soul can no longer be contained by what once felt safe. This is a call for emotional courage, to feel everything that arises without retreat, to let sorrow, fear, and even rage move through you without judgment, and to know that their surfacing is part of the clearing. Resistance will only magnify your suffering, denial will only deepen your disorientation, but surrender, not the passive surrender of giving up, but the conscious surrender of trusting your soul's deeper wisdom, will lead you through. You must also be discerning. Not every opportunity, not every person, not every old dream is meant to cross this threshold with you. Part of the preparation for stepping through this portal is the conscious release of what no longer vibrates with your highest truth. That may mean choosing solitude over connection that drains you, uncertainty over security built on falsehood, self-trust over external validation. Above all, understand that neutrality is not an option. To stand still is to make a choice to stay asleep, to stay entangled, to prolong cycles that your soul is ready to outgrow. But to choose awakening is to step into a new vibration, even when it is uncomfortable, even when the ground beneath you feels uncertain. Growth is not painless, but neither is stagnation. This portal does not promise ease. It promises transformation. It offers a chance to step onto a new path where your life is shaped not by unconscious repetition, but by conscious creation. But you must choose it. You must show up for it. You must be willing to leave behind the familiar suffering for the unfamiliar freedom. In the final step of our journey, I will guide you in how to walk through this portal with awareness, with trust, and with a commitment to becoming the truest, most sovereign version of yourself. Because the future that awaits you is not something to find, it is something to claim. As we come to the close of today's journey, I want to leave you with this. The doorway before you is real and it is open. You are standing at a crossroads that will not wait for certainty or comfort. It asks only for your courage, your honesty, and your willingness to grow beyond who you have been. The old paths may call to you with their familiar promises, but they can no longer carry you where your soul longs to go. Whatever rises now, the emotions, the endings, the awakenings, is not here to break you. It is here to reveal you, to strip away the illusions so that only what is true, solid, and enduring remains. Trust that you are not alone in this passage. Trust that everything falling away is clearing space for a life that is far more aligned with the essence of who you really are. You have a choice, not between ease and difficulty, but between old cycles and new life, between unconscious repetition and awakened creation, between fear and freedom. I hope you choose freedom. I hope you choose yourself. Thank you for walking this path with me today. I am honored to have shared this sacred threshold with you. Until we meet again, may you move forward with clarity, courage, and the quiet knowing that everything you are becoming is already within you, waiting to be fully lived.